Hello, everyone. It is Friday. Who all do we have in the house tonight? Lots going on. Dan E. Boyd, Ron English are here. Tony's Hot Rod Garage, all the way from Arizonaville. The One-Eyed Cat. Turbo Tom 416. How's it go, Turbo Tom? Wendy English is here. She's at work, but she's here too. Well, excellent. I hope we're more entertaining than what's going on at work. But if that's not the case, make sure to share it. Mohawk is here. Colleen Tebow is attempting to de-ring the Ram 5318 Pistons. That sounds exciting. .6% recycled, who, by the way, I believe you're only 13 subscribers short, if I'm not mistaken. Scott, I believe that is the case. One-Eyed Cat says they gave him 7 valve seals instead of 8. How is that ever? Usually I wind up with 1 extra. But you're working on a big block. If you're working on a small block, I'd so have you covered. Man, my counter looks funny. All right, Andrew Nelson's here. You guys can see me and hear me, okay? And just making sure, because my counter is not showing up on the StreamYard side. It is on the YouTube side. And YouTube says there's already 21 of you guys here, but StreamYard says there's 0. And I know that can't be right because comments are coming in. Buck does it. Junkyard D. Always glad to see Andrew Nelson here. Yeah, so I sent a message to Andrew Nelson commenting on this new Dodge Demon. Showroom floor, 1,025 horsepower. Car runs an 889 at 151 right from the factory on the factory tires and no roll cage. Man, I just don't even want to see what somebody's going to do with one of those. But anyway, yeah, okay, good. So people say you can see. So apparently StreamYard, for whatever reason, the counter's just not having it. StreamYard claims there's no one here. It's a conspiracy. Colleen says, let's get 6% to 500. Well, you know, it's funny you say that because I was looking at my main page today, and I'm actually going to head over there right now just so I can see it. I believe he was only 13 away. Is it possible there are 13 people that will be on this live, or who will be on this? Yeah, 487. So 6% recycled is at 487 subs. And I'm going to click his channel, and I'm going to post it in the comments and pin it. There we go. So if anybody watching is not subscribed to 6% recycled, let's just see what happens. I hope he drops by tonight. Maybe he'll give a victory speech. Let's see what happens. Andrew says real clear. Well, you know, on the clarity, about 10 minutes ago, I ran my hardwired internet. I had been procrastinating on putting back the hardwire where I had to move it for something, and that probably is making a difference. There's 6% recycled. So 6% recycled. Now is the time to put stuff out, social media posts, whatever. Let's see what happens. If you happen to get 500 tonight during the live, we'll bring you on to have a little acceptance speech of punching your ticket to the 2nd annual No Name Nationals. This could be exciting. Wish I could see how many people were in here. It's just strange. But I'm seeing all of you guys, and that's what I want to see. Rabbit Transit Garage is here. 2 Hacks Jeff. Turbo Tom says no roll cage, but lots of airbags. I tell you what, roll cages don't scare me as much as airbags do. Cope is here. Smoke Wrench Garage. He is on the move. Smoke Wrench. You just keep pulling these aces out of your sleeve with these cool videos. You're going to surge to 500. Travis's Mopar Garage. There's a guy that showed us how 500 was done last year. Auto Salvage Outlaws. How's it going? Got some correspondence from Auto Salvage Outlaws today. What a cool cat. Really, really is. Buff's Garage is here. Pure Pontiac Garage. Look at that. The Pontiac guys come in pairs. See that? They don't want to step into a Mopar's den, you know, and they got to have their backup, right? Dean Stevenson is here. Glad you're here. Cope says, nice thumbnail. Yes. So I wheeled in here with 12 minutes before time to go live. I had stuff to do today. I had a mess to do over Bluefield, which is 87 miles from here. And I rolled in here, had no thumbnail, and I'm like, you know, I could just go live and not do a thumbnail. Maybe I could just pirate that really cool thumbnail that Cope made. I don't know what it was for, but he was playing around and he did that, you know, Dog the Bounty Hunter and Joe's Got the Bounty and Mr. Haney. Oh, how cool is that? So I kind of borrowed it. I hope that's okay. Glad you're all here. Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans. I'm late for class. Well, what class is that? Because if it's transmission class, you're a month late. Glad you're here, though. Smoke Wrench says, good-looking power wagon, Mr. Cope. Yes. In fact, I got a picture of that today, working on the ignition switch on that power wagon. I am very anxious to see that come to life. That's a cool-looking truck. Fortunately, I've been able to see it in person. Danny Boyd says it's not a roll cage, it's a nitrous tank. Not my nitrous tank. Well, if y'all can hear that, my dog is laying down there just roaring, snoring. He had a long day. He's worn out. Dutch Guy's Garage. How's it going? All right. I'm glad all of y'all are here. Frankenstein C20. Heavens Mopars. Irish Outlaw Garage. Danny Boyd said, I did 2 roofs today single-handedly. Not hardly. You guys are funny. Danny Boyd says, I'm always on time for low class. Yeah, Ron, that's the deal with the bounty hunter theme. For those of you who missed that thumbnail, like maybe we were already live or something, it was just too funny. And you know, there's all these cool Just Mopar Joe memes going around where he's our defending bracket champ. Well, there you go if you didn't see it. Yeah, I got a kick out of that, so I thought it might be a fun thumbnail to use. Credit to John Coe. Twisted Mopar Garage. Greg McDonald sneaked in here. Jay was here. All right. Well, we'll give it just a few more minutes because there's some things that I want to tell you guys about. Perpetual Projects does need to get started on art. He's always got his hands full. Travis is always slinging wrenches and doing stuff over there. Look at that. Henry Nelson, there we go. He's already on top of it. NHRA has already stated the new Challenger can't run an event without a cage. Good for them. Good for them. Buff says he'll have something running by the No Name Nationals. No idea what. Well, there you go. Part of the fun. Danny Boyd says, I wonder if I can outrun dog in a foot chase. You cannot outrun my dog in a foot chase, I guarantee you. J-Bo, you going to be bringing the Nacho to the No Name Nationals? I know Blake is planning on bringing that that orange pumpkin or whatever y'all are calling it of a dart. And I know, of course, Jeremy is bringing the Motley Crew cab. Or you plan on bringing the iconic Nacho Cuda, J-Bo? We would love to see you there running it. Greg says we're supposed to get 5 to 9 inches of snow tomorrow. Yikes. So Twisted Mopar Garage is 181 days to go. Indeed. Day 181 is almost gone. There are 3 hours and 48 minutes left in day 181. So it's actually 180 and change. And 180 is exactly 6 months. Exactly. And since we promote this for about 9, a third of the time is gone. So if you remember when the announcement was, that was the third of all the time for the second annual. Species Death Pumpkin goes with them. It goes with their theme. Travis says we're bringing 2 this year and hopefully keeping drive shafts attached. That'd be excellent. It's a great goal. Colleen says, can I bother the switch operators? No, nobody running the switch. J-Bo is saying maybe, probably just the 2 cars. Well, I'm going to tell you, and I've said this before, and everybody who's been knowing it when I say it. The most important thing is I want to see you guys. If you come out and have a good time, but we there's more time to see each other. So, Jay, you're there. The Nacho would be a cool bonus, but I just hope you're there. The worst thing to do is say, I can't bring the car, so I'm not going either. That's what we don't want. We want you guys to show up. Because if your car's not ready and you have a registration, remember, that still does count as your weekend pass to get in as a spectator. So you still get in. You don't have to buy a weekend pass on top of it just because your car didn't make it. Indirect connection. Jason is here. Twisted Mopar says weather is killing me. Well, I'll tell you, the thing about weather is when you have bad weather, that gives you an opportunity to do other things, different things, goofy videos about snow, or who knows, take your race car out in 2 inches of snow. There's no salt, 2-inch snow parking lot, or something really goofy like that other people haven't seen. Man, that kind of stuff, people like. Get subscribers from it. Yeah, Greg said video frozen. I see it blinking. If for some reason I blink and something goes awry, I'll come back. Michael Schmidt says, been watching AHRA Tech and seriously thinking of traveling from California to the No Name National for 51 Plymouth Flathead. That sounds exciting. That sounds fantastic. So, Michael, the deal is for Thursday, and I don't know how many subscribers you have. I can't see right now, but I will say to participate, to race burnout contest, you need 500 subscribers. And you can totally do it. Lots of channels have done it in a whole lot fewer than 181 days. But you can still come and participate in all the Thursday, the dinner cruise to Lambert's and that. Just saying. Yeah, Danny boy, you never know. Sometimes the internet does goofy things. Andrew says my voice is getting wonky. My voice was wonky before I ever sat down here. J-Bo says we'll all be there. Excellent. Yeah, Buff says we have snow one day, 70 degrees the next, rain and 40 and 60 and so forth and so on. This is true. The only thing I don't like is I don't like it when you have stuff starting to bud and the flowers come up and all that, then the cold snap kills all that. Yeah, I wish it would just, I would trade an extra week or 2 of cold for consistent warm for that reason. Scarlett says a great Max Headroom impersonation. Yes, it all does that. It's better now. Mopar's Mustangs minivan says hello. All I saw you in here, as is Rich 220, not to be confused with Rich 221. JB says if you get there, always do a ride along with people. Don't be afraid to ask. You can. We do have a cutoff on how fast a car you can do a ride along. I want to say It's in the low sixes before we say it's too quick to be messing around with riders. But we do have a number for that. And if you have that question, either email it to me or I'll get it out. We'll do it on a Tech Live. We will be having Deke back on there. Yeah, Colleen is doing Power Tour, wants to collaborate. Twisted Mopar says it's hard to start when it's cold. Alcohol doesn't like below 55. I don't like below 55. I don't blame it. Has there ever been a flathead car or truck at No Name Nationals? I don't know. I know Hoopty Mike's car probably would have been a flathead from the factory, but of course it had a regular overhead valve 318. That's a good question. I'm just not sure. Andrew Nelson says James and James have been quiet. They have. We did see them pop in on a live Wednesday night. They're around. They're just busy. They're still around. But yeah, when you talk about people who get their 500 subs quickly, James and James come to mind. They did it in 2 weeks and did it the right way with the original content and did it right. LNA Auto Works, who just cruised up one more notch in the standings this afternoon. Ron says it will kill the fruit harvest. Yeah, that's really bad when it happens in North Carolina where they have all the peaches, which is just south of here. Ruins the peach crops. So LNA says, I'm making my J-turn video tonight. Here's what he's talking about. Any of the mods that have this in here, you can pop up the link if you like. So Stephen Phillips from the Phillips Run Drip and Bubble channel, quite a mouthful of a channel name, he has a J-turn challenge like the Rockford Files. And I shared his video on my community tab if you want to see it. He's challenging people to do their best J-turn. If you don't know what a J-turn is, you need to see that on his channel. But they were popular on the Rockford Files, and he does a good example of one. So check it out. LNA Auto Works is obviously participating. Any of you guys who do the J-turn challenge for Steven and you make a video, I'll share it. Tag me on it so I know you did, though, please. Travis said a storm blowing through Memphis. It happens. Boy, Memphis does seem to have all kind of stuff going on with unstable weather. Usually it's getting Toledo, too. Ron English says, I want to do a ride-along this year. You need to ride along with your brother. Do remember, all riders, we do have an ET cutoff, but all riders have to have the same safety equipment as the driver for the ET. So Don will obviously have to have belts and helmet, as will you, to ride with him. Michael Schmidt is asking, NNN accommodations so you can camp, or what are the recommended hotels? I'll tell you this. Yes, you can camp, and I bet you half the people there camp. It's lively. Like it's a bona fide campsite there. You can camp, but what we don't have any of is power. Now, obviously, the racetrack has power, but we don't have drops a bunch of places because it's not set up like an RV park. So if you're self-contained, generator, or rustic camping, you can put up a tent and camp rustic is fine. You can do that. Recommended hotels. I know last year I stayed at the Best Western. It was fine. The Drury is usually where we put up the brass. That's where they stay. There are several good ones. There's a few that aren't, but Best Western I can vouch for. Drury I can vouch for. I think the Pear Tree or whatever was good. Several of our guys stayed there. Auto Salvage Outlaws, you need to put out more videos where I can watch, where I can sweat. Hey, we've got 8,300 plus videos that are out under the No Name Nationals hashtag now. And Indirect Connection is telling us to Colleen, but I think it's pretty interesting. Not sure if he's taken the Belvedere or the Satellite yet. That's a great conundrum to be in when you have two rides that cool to bring. Okay, 6% recycled. As I posted to all my social media stuff, letting people know I'm almost to 500. If somebody would, let me know in the comments where 6% recycled is. 6% recycled. When you get to 493, I'll shoot you a link. Come on in. We'll get 500 live. Sound like a plan? Jabo says my router is made out of wood. Hand-rolled mahogany goes with his phone. Why, yes, Jabo. This is the same internet company you have right here. Good thing is John no longer losing. Oh, you're no longer losing. Well, it's just the way it goes. YouTube does this. And the harder you try to guess, usually the more you're conjecturing. People have figured out little things, but for the most part, just grind away and it takes care of itself. Road Beer Garage says, what's up tonight? Well, I'll tell you one thing that's up tonight. Road Beer Garage is up to 319 subscribers, and he just passed Turbo Tom at 315. So I watch you guys sub counts every day, and I'm cheering you on. And Road Beer's got some good stuff going on. Keep it up. You're going to get there. Buff just posted a link to the J-Turn Challenge. That's Stephen Phillips J-Turn Challenge. I thought it was really cool. He does a good example of it, and I'm excited to see what you do. Like I said, if you do the J-Turn Challenge and you tag me in the video at John Wilburn, tag me in the video, I'll share it. Rich says, so who here called me out? Yeah, Rich, I think you have a call out or two floating around out there. I think that'd be cool. Let's see here. Old Red up for a ride on motor only. Sounds cool. Yeah, unfinished project posted the J-Turn Challenge. And yeah, that's cool. I think that's neat. I don't think I've ever seen that on YouTube before. Somebody posting that for a challenge. 6% Scott staying at the Best Western. Cool deal. Indirect connection. Jay says the bed of my Ram worked just fine. That's right. There were a lot of people crashed out in truck beds. I think Jed Scott said he slept in the front seat of Jezebel Charger. I mean, this is where the B body and the C body are really handy over the A body. 6% at 488. All right, 493. Colleen says, can hear Jethro snoring. Yeah, he is roaring, so he is worn out from his day right there. Now, I went to Bluefield, and they have a good barbecue place where they smoke pulled pork on site. It's a good little place. I like it. But it's only open 2 days a week, like 12 hours a week. It's open for 2 hours at lunch, 2 hours at lunch, maybe 3 hours at dinner. Yeah, 10 hours a week. So 2 days, 2 and 3 on Thursday and Friday, as weird as that is, or Friday and Saturday, something like that. Well, anyway, it's one of those weird times I could go. So went down, took care of some business, got me some barbecue, gave him his barbecue, which he was always excited about. And now he's taking a nap, snoring on my life. Yes, Ron, the old Princess phone. This phone works. This is my grandparents' phone. I think it's pretty cool. Rich says, maybe I'll tow my 57 Chevy with the olds. I'd love to see it. Yeah, Unfinished Project is asking if you've registered. That's a step of commitment for sure. 6% says I might flip my Cherokee if I try the J-Turn Challenge. I got to tell you, I really did think about it for the van, but that'd scare me, something that top heavy trying that. Because if you're in the middle of a J-turn, I mean, if you start to tip over when you're going forward, you know the correction for that. You steer and accelerate into it, right? I don't know that I could process the fix for flipping over trying to do something like a J-turn. I mean, what would you do? You can't get it back. The other thing too is I'd probably be a little bit nervous doing that with a torque flight. I'm gonna mess up the sprag. Chris Greenaway says, "What's Hemi staying up to?" That is an excellent question, and I hope to answer it not too distant future. I got thoughts on Hemi staying there. We got more to do with Hemi staying. You should see him again. Danny Boyd says that phone is not 100 years old, is it? No. In fact, hardly any phone's 100 years old. There are a few, but no. It is an old phone, though. That phone is probably from the 60s. It does not have the conventional plug. It's got the 4 big studs that plug in. It doesn't take a regular phone jack, but you can convert it. Well, you could when I got it. Dudes with Wrenches is here. Glad you're here. Buff says flipped Cherokee equals views. Yep. Rob's Rods and Streetcars, Mr. 424 subs. Come on, Rod. You're keeping us in suspense. You've been 76 away for a while. Road Beer says a Cherokee will do the J-turn just fine. Ask me how I know. Probably a stock height one, yeah. New Guy says, I saw the J-turn challenge. Yeah, you should do it, New Guy's Garage. You should totally do it. You know what, New Guy's Garage, you should do the J-turn and get your brother to play a cover of the Rockford Files theme song while you do it. See? That's next level stuff. There's Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab. I'm glad you're here, Dr. Art. Are you missing Monday night so bad that you gotta get your fix of Tethered to Alive on Friday? I watched your video about the auction. I guess you got a cop card auction. Oh, sounds like you had a disappointing experience. JB says thinks he'd pass on a flood car. Yeah, I'm one of these people that it's the right incentive. I might go for things that don't make sense, and take a chance. I tend to not get mad if I take a chance and get burned. I mean, I knew going in I was taking a chance. I mean, you shouldn't get mad if you take a chance. You're taking a chance and it doesn't pan out because you made the decision to take a gamble. So if I took a gamble on a car, I mean, that's just kind of the way I think of it. Like a flood car, for example. I know it's a flood car and then it's worse than I think, and I bought it sight unseen, I would get that. It's just different than how things are represented. Now, if I bought something that's, represented a certain exact condition and it's not, that would be different. Greg McDonald says a Toronado will do circle turns. Funny you say that because that J-turn video, I sent it to John Cope and he says, yeah, Toronado will do great J-turns. Chris, yeah, I've got something on that. I've got a lot of plates spinning, and as they come to fruition, it's actually pretty exciting. But there's things that sit on the back burner, and sometimes they're working, sometimes they're not. But when they come to fruition, it's pretty neat. And then I'll come up with something out of nowhere. It's like, oh man, where'd that come from? I'm like, well, actually, I've been working on that for a year. I don't tell people, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I typically wait until it's in process and say, hey, I've been working on this for a year. And then you'll see video, the seasons aren't even right. I mean, that's what I did with things like the Free 18 and some of that other stuff. So it just happens. New Guy says that's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea. No, it'd be cool. Why not? That's the thing. I mean, pretty much, if you're a YouTuber, you should have ideas. That's the thing. We all have ideas. If you're one of these people that's like, man, I could never live long enough to do all the ideas that are worth doing. I could never live long enough to afford all of the ideas I have. That's a good YouTuber. If you're a person that's, man, I'm just out of ideas, that's not a good YouTuber. So just think, be creative. I could not live enough time in 10 lifetimes to do all the things I think are cool ideas worth trying. Buff said the flood car is priced right, which is zero. There you go. So pretty much you're out of your time if it's not. Auto salvages get registered and you'll grow and make it. I got to tell you, registration, it certainly does help. But again, I leave that to you guys you guys share your experiences on registration. And because coming from me, I mean, I'm not lining my pockets with anything. I want to make enough to pay for the event. That's what's important to me. Danny Boyd says, put a Tornado in reverse, turn the steering wheel, and floor it. Yeah, you can do that with any front wheel drive. Tornado's got some torque, though. Chris Greenaway wishes he could go back in time. Well, let me tell you, Duster Demon for cheap. So, when I was in high school, there was this guy who worked at the Wendy's in town, and he had a 71 Demon slant six car, 70,000 miles. It was spotlessly clean. I mean, it looked like 70,000. The chrome was all real nice, factory wheel covers, factory paint. And he just drove it every day to work at Wendy's because it was a cheap car. And I remember thinking, wow, that's a lot of money when he asked $1,500 for it. I don't remember what he finally got. Because, I mean, a 340 car then, I mean, man, those things are like $2,500. I know. But that was 30 years ago. And now is now. Sand Mountain Ballistics. He is posting on full auto. Boom, 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 boom. I like it. Howdy, Hunter. Greg McDonald has a few ideas on how to fix the USA, but a lot of the peeps in government need to disappear first. I agree with that. All righty. Hunter comes in with a bang. Danny Boyd says Chrome Magnum 500s on the Demon. I believe technically that wheel is called the road wheel on a Chrysler and a Magnum 500 on a Ford. But everybody calls them Magnum 500 regardless. Yeah, it's a community. When greeting becomes a challenge, yes, I saw my screen blink. That means you guys got to blink. Chris says, I love how the Duster Demon were frowned upon. Well, I got to tell you, they weren't. I remember when they were daily drivers and the B body was all people cared about. It's not that way anymore. I liked the A bodies before they were cool. I remember decent $500 A bodies just everywhere. Those days are gone. Sam Mountain Ballistics says automatic transmission fluid has entered the chat. That's the only ATF welcomed here. .38 POS Racing says just a little pan massage. I'm assuming he's trying to make something fit. I can understand that. So one thing I'll mention, again, my counter's acting weird. Looks like we're 50-some people. I am working on, and it's going to take a system to do it because of the way the nature of registering by channel, then how many cars and all that stuff. But what I'm working on, just so you guys will know, is to make sure that you can renew your car numbers. So whatever you had in 2022, you can renew for 2023. Okay. Now, there are some limitations on this. Like, for example, if you add another car, okay, like if you had two consecutive numbers in 2022, you obviously can't have a third. It just won't automatically work out that way if the people on each, if you had 2 last year, that would be a third. But these are things we can work out. And there has to be a deadline on it, honestly. I can't, I can't bring numbers I don't have, and I have to get out there and so forth and so on. So, but just understand that if you're registered and if you had your car numbers last year, um, I can't see any reason why not. I'm working through how to implement it exactly, and I'll release that here when we do live with Dallas next. I just want people to know I'm working on you so you can have your car numbers back from 2022. Because I got to tell you, I mean, from what I see around YouTube, I bet more than a quarter or a third of you still have your numbers on your cars, which is incredible. I would never have thought that. It's flattering and cool. It was Rabbit Transit says, sweet, that means I'm one again. Well, I'm working on that to make sure that works. Henry's Hot Rod Garage, hello, glad you're here. But remember, this would also take some things. And again, I'm just kind of talking out loud. I got to figure out how this is all going to work. It would take consecutive registrations. It would obviously take the same or fewer number of cars than you had in the year before. So these are things we have to work out. But there are still advantages to registering early. Keep that in mind. I have another idea for that. I think you'll like. It's still on the car. Exactly. People have been, yeah, exactly. Jason's still on my right. I do plan on having fresh vinyl because, let's say that Jason brings a different car and he would still have the same number. It's not feasible to peel one off. So I'll have vinyl for him. Auto Salvage Outlaws says, do it now where I can do my call out video. I don't know what they're talking about there. Sounds exciting. I see most of the old parts and Russ Patrick is here. Glad you're here. NSB, as always, in the house. Thank you, guys. Those guys are warriors. I am so glad they're in our community. Just great to have friends like that, in this community. Say that to so many of you guys. Wonderful crew here tonight. Where is 6% Recycled Scott right now on his subs? Because Auto Salvage Outlaw says, what's my number? You don't have a number until, you don't have a number until we issue them for the year. So you're actually not going to have a car number until right before the event. The only way you could have a number now is if you had one last year. If you were not there last year, can get you another car number for this year. And then hopefully we can continue to work that forward. Now you do see where this becomes kind of wild and untenable at some point. But I'm willing to keep up with it because I think it's cool. And again, I think it's pretty neat that you guys can kind of have in a way, have a permanent No Name Nationals number. I'm hoping it's one of those things that might be a little bit of administrative headache in year one, which for that particular thing would be this year, the first year we do it. And then, we can keep that going and it'll be less administrative stuff. LNA says, have him jump on the live. 493. Remember, I said 493. He could get it. Yeah, he could get it tonight. But the only reason that I haven't done it right this minute is because 6% Recycled was on a benefit live here a little while back. We were just spontaneously did it. So I want to make sure the pond is fished out, but I think we can do it. So 6% Recycled. If you're here or if someone would send you a message, you're at 493, jump in here. Just Mopar Joe. Dodge the bounty hunter. Oh, speaking of Joe, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. So I made something for the office here. I've been planning on doing for a while. I remember, and it's probably been a couple of years now, Joe told me something that he got somewhere. Somebody had told him, some mentor or teacher or someone he knew, had a couple of things he said was cool, and I remember them. They've always stuck with me. But one of them was this. So I made a new sign for the office. I just like that. I've never forgotten that. So I did it in Joe's colors to match his car. And I thought this would be good for the office. Like I said, I got here 12 minutes before live time, but it's going to go right there. There, right? Something like that. But anyway, yeah. There's the new sign, Joe. See, attributed to Joe and everything. Matches the Barracuda. I thought it was pretty cool. Poor Boy's Garage is here. Chucky is here. Glad you guys could make it. Just Mopar Joe is legit. Yeah, Poor Boy's Garage. Don't let him fool you. That's right. Yeah. Piston from the Buick. Yeah, possibly. That'd be cool. Yeah. Oh, Phillips Run Drip and Bubble. Oh, okay. Steven's here. Okay. 6% like you don't need to get StreamYard going. You don't need to do that at all. Hang on just a second there, and I'll get you set up. And I'll have to do this manually, but I'm pretty sure I can do it. In fact, this is usually how I do it because it's such a short part of the link that actually is different. Ugh. Well, this is harder to do when I have my lights on, but that's okay. Got to be able to see what I'm doing. All right. And we send this to 6% recycled. There you go. There you go, Scott. 493 is here. Jump on. Poor Boy says it's 2 hacks coming on tonight. I don't see Jeff in the chat. Yeah, I usually, I mean, there's a lot of lives that are socialized, and what I try to do is just something a little bit different. And it's just the format I was doing a long time before. Really, a lot of these other lives came around was I try to have guests on. I'm a little more intermittent on guests been this fall or this spring rather than winter, but I got some great guests in the hopper. In fact, I've got a list right here I'm looking at. Got some good guests lined up. So, more to come. But this one, I'm like, I didn't book a guest today. But I got some great guests coming. Great guests in the tech world. I have two guests that have a ton of knowledge in areas you're going to like. Technical, I mean deep dive engine tech. Cool, fun stuff. Jeff was here. Yeah, Jeff is everywhere. So I'm sure he was here earlier. Unfinished project says Testa has 340 subs. Yes, he does. And Nick the Van Man just leapfrogged him at 342. I do that report every other day for Dallas and for Buck because Buck does the channel reviews. And they can see on my page, what the sub counts are. But that's where I also put in my notes what's going on, if there's something worth that I want them to know about or something I saw or whatnot. %6 recycled is here. How's it going, Mr. 493? All right, he'll be back. Well, Chris Greenaway, I got my hands full over here, but we will see. We will see. So Michael Schmidt is asking, bracket racing, are there several classes for bracket? We run one all-run bracket. That could change. But the thing is about no-name nationals, we don't want to do just too many cut-up classes. We try to keep it simple because believe me, the fun is in all the personalities and so forth. Yeah, exactly. This Poor Boy's Garage is telling really the way it is, and that is last year at No Name Nationals was a party. You guys think it's going to be epic this year? Of course. Why in the world would we not? we we want it to be awesome every year. So this year we plan to have a lot of little things ironed out and got a few cool surprises that I'm working on. I got some cool stuff I'm working on. Does nothing special. Says hey everybody. So when you get back 6%, I'll let you in. He's had a little connection problem down there. I see him on my screen, but he's not getting it. He was in. He had it on mute. I think he might have thought that it wasn't picking up the audio. You're at 497. You're about to get it 6%. 490. Oh gosh, 499. Now the question is will 6% recycle get here before his 500 moment? You're there? No, Danny boy, he's not there. He's one away. It's a difference. They would not honor people like Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans or Dizzy Izzy if people with 499 are the same as 500. He will get it. He will get it. I'll give him another chance. He's working on it. I keep seeing him down in the right orient right there, trying to come in on the screen, and he can't get his camera and audio. Well, he will here in just a second. But it's exciting that we're having the 5th channel of 2023 punch that ticket tonight. How cool is that? That will put us at 70 channels. That'll be 50 so far that have done it. Oh man, but you were there 6%. You had it. You were down there. I got you on the screen for a minute. I think it was just your internet signal. JP, come on. All right, Buff's saying you got it. So, Scott, if you want to come on and say something to these guys, tonight is your night. Congratulations. You have made it. An Unfinished Project is 500. He's everybody's 500th just about. But Unfinished Project, I bet you weren't my 500th. Or maybe you were. Who knows? Danny Boyd says 500 here too. That means you're going to have about 502, 3 or 4. Salvage Outlaws. Putting the hard press. Yeah, Hunter can do what he wants. Anybody can do what they want. The thing about it is I love seeing the camaraderie amongst the no-name 500 guys, the way they support each other. I'd love to see the way the brothers could play off of each other doing videos for the No Name 500 and all that. That's the thing I just think would be cool because both Dakota and Hunter are super smart. They just, a lot of these young guys, you're just like, man, I hope they grow into. I don't see that with those two. Those guys are doing it. They are sharp, both of them. They're like 18, 19 years old. And you look at where they are at 18 or 19, you just think what those guys are going to be doing years to come. They're already doing it. They're doing a great job. So they give me hope in what I see with young hot rodders, both of those guys. I've met the family, like Dakota and Hunter and the dad. He's a sharp guy too. He has a Ford tractor that he put a flathead V8 in. I mean, they're sharp. Those guys are savvy. They're humble and they're savvy. I like them. Poor Boy's Garage says, call out soon. Buddy, you can make them whenever you want to. Brad, if you want to make your 2026 call outs, you're welcome to do it. Yeah, congratulations to 6%. We did have him on the screen for a second, but if he does happen to get some internet tonight, we'd love to have you on here. But regardless, congratulations to 6%. We did have him on a live earlier, like a week or so ago. Had him on a live and got a little closer. But I'm thrilled that 6 Recycled has made it. So And he blinked again down there in the back room. So he's trying. But anyway, regardless, we're very happy. And again, if you get it, you're welcome on. Michael Schmitz has been watching Barrows. Thanks for sharing your thoughts on the process of getting started. Let me tell you, Barrows knows how to do it. Michael Schmidt, Barrows started with 42 subscribers in January 2022. And he goes out and makes a video outside in the snow. And he would not mind me saying it was a terrible video because, like all of us, when you first start out, you make videos that are just, but that's what it takes. You start that way. You start with videos, panning around, looks like Blair Witch Project, feet, hands, and all that. And that's just normal. But let me tell you, Barrows soaked it up. He learned from our guys that know lots of tricks, like Blake from Bad Tree Productions and Buzz from Roadkill Customs, and the guys in our community who are real experts and know this stuff. And he worked on his titles and his videos and his editing and just progressed and progressed and progressed. And now Barrows, he just waved at me on the way by, has a big channel and is rocking. But that guy has learned how to do this and how to build a channel. So when Barrows gives you advice on how to get your channel moving, you should listen. That guy knows stuff. He figured it out the hard way. But now that's the part that he did purposefully. The part that he did passively, when it was snow on the ground and 7 degrees in Idaho, this guy was outside clearing snow off of cars and pushing them into the shop with his tractor. Now, somebody who will do that and make content in a snowstorm and all that, man, he's going to be cruising when the weather gets good because he's hammering away when things are bad. And I got to tell you, that was a running theme. Russell from Outfits Garage, Barrows Garage, Nolan from Wild Rose Garage, all of those guys who started when the weather was awful. When the weather got good, they were sailing because they were putting it in when it was harder. Barrows is legit. Yes, he is. Barrows is legit. And the funny thing is, last year, we didn't know who was going to wind up being legit. We gave everybody an opportunity, but it was funny. Like, watch Two Hacks Jeff. I was Two Hacks' first subscriber. I watched his first video, and he's like, hey, I'm going to do it in his video. And it's like, yeah, sure you will. I mean, I hope you do, but that's what I was thinking. But then, yeah, he did. He showed us all. Two Hacks is pushing 5,000 subs now, so. I mean, we got some rock stars that come out of this No Name 500. Several of them are in here, like Buck Does It, just for example. And Dizzy Izzy made it. Dizzy Izzy panhandled subs at the gate of Jeffers to get what he needed. He did it. We got some stars here. Smoke Wrench Garage is saying congratulations. Let's see if I can do something here. Just so you guys can see what I'm seeing. He is trying. Cannot get the phone to connect. It's probably an internet signal thing. But he is trying. And if you get it, we'd love to have you. %'s asking if I could email him the link. Yes. You can cut and paste also. Any of you guys, when you get a link by text and when you get a link by text or something, you can copy and paste that into an email and email it to yourself if you need to. But yeah, I'm happy to. I just sent it to you by email, so we'll be looking to see if he can get on by a landline. Mopar's Mustangs Viva. They had me begging on video for subs. Yeah, that was all in good fun, but it was good. An Unfinished Project is listing the sub counts, post their channels. It's all cool. Smoke Wrench Garage, there's another one that's made a pretty big flash. So we'll see what he does. Poor Boy's Garage really turned out a good, he would have his display running at 7 o'clock in the morning every morning, okay? He had his quarter panel out with his channel stickers, had his flags out, American flag, Marine Corps flag, had the whole thing going on at 7 every morning. The Boys Garage crew really nice professional booth, and I really appreciated it. I thought it was cool. And now 6% Recycled is in the house.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, it wouldn't. My phone would not take it. I tried it about 20 times, and it just won't do it. So So I'm on my camera
Hey,
and
well,
on my
you're
computer.
here. I'm glad you're here. So, congratulations.
Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate all the support. It's been fantastic.
Yep, congratulations on 500. So you have the next make it, and I believe that puts Tony's Hot Rod Garage in the next. He's next up.
That's great.
Danny
Tony's got a
Boyce
great channel.
501.
We exchanged stickers just a bit ago. He's got an awesome channel, awesome content. I'm looking forward to meeting him at the No Name.
Yeah, this is great. So now you're an alumnus now. So now you're in, right? Like next year, you don't have the No Name 500 monkey on your back. You're already good to go.
That's nice. Because I put out a video every day this week, and I was wondering if it was going to catch. So
it was working. No, I watched. You've been climbing. You can tell who's putting out the content. And then some people put out videos, but they'll just sit there and stall for a little bit, and then things will catch up on pushing the videos, and you'll see a big bump in the subs, right? So it works different for different people. And
I really thought that tempo video would really get people going, but I don't know. I guess I was just a weird audience for it.
So here's the tempo stuff. And I'll show you people what world they're talking about if you don't know. Yeah, and Don saved me your 500 subs. He captured it. I appreciate that. So that's your proof. Well, I want to find you what is. So when they talk about the tempo, people are like, what in the world is this Ford tempo nonsense? Well, I will show you. If I can find my where I text Professor Harbor Freight here. I don't know what day that was now. There we go.
Yeah, he did a funny video kind of replying to you as well. So
okay. So Professor Harbor Freight, if I can do this. Professor Harbor Freight, aka New Guy's Garage, he had this. This is what I did. Anytime I need to correspond with one of the newbies, now I'm going to say newbie, it's like new to our community, and it has nothing to do with channel size. I sent him this, okay? I sent him a message in January that says, does New Guy's Garage install Ford Tempo transmissions? This one has a shift kit and an aftermarket overdrive. It's taking up space in my living room, and I need someone to install it. Well, he doesn't know who that is. I just want to see if he'll take the bait, right? And I've done this to him. I've done it to Levi's Backyard Performance, Streetcar Chronicles. Anytime I need to message somebody who doesn't have my number, I do that. So I got to do something different now because of this. He's kind of outed me on it. Yes, he barrows. Exactly. I'd hit the barrows. I've done this to so many people now. So I didn't get any response. The next time I said, can Professor Harbor Freight design the suspension for my 84 Ford Tempo? And then I got no response. So then I put out, my Tempo needs a better aero package to be competitive at the Bonneville Salt Flats. This New Guy's Garage have an on-site wind tunnel. And then he finally got it figured. Finished project's his wife's first car is the 84 Tempo. Roy Boy says, not sure how the No Name Nationals became so Mopar heavy, but glad it is. Well, that's because I'm a Mopar guy, and I told my friends about it first. They told their friends about it first. So because a lot more were promoting it early, that's exactly why. However, that said, that's changing. We have a lot more other makes this year. We had lots of other makes there last year, but we have even more other makes than Mopar this year.
No, my mom had a 84 Tempo, and it was the same color as that Antacid. They came out in the same colors. It was kind of strange. If anybody doesn't know, Ford Tempo, and there was an Antacid called the Tempo, and they were basically the same color. And I just remember that from growing up in the South. So.
Do you have your phone plugged in by chance?
No, not into the computer.
Huh. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing something pick up a phone.
Hmm.
That's why I think Dean Stevenson's hearing. Well, no, he heard the alarm on a phone.
That was likely
Danny
mine.
Boyd had a 94 Topaz, then a 99 Tempo. I didn't know they were still making Tempos in 99.
Yeah, I thought that was only an early 80s, late 90s, or to mid 90s thing.
Me too. They made them that long because they had that horrible Ford Contour and Mercury Mystique by 95.
That Contour, though, in Europe,
Yeah.
that was actually one of it was a, can't remember the series, but that was a really well received race car in Europe.
The Ford Contour was junk on a stick. Those things had a list of recalls and technical service bulletins a mile long. So Buck says transmission time. Buck is working on a torque flight. Buck, what is that for? What are you doing with the torque flight? I'm just curious.
I assume it was for that CUDA you bought, unless I'm wrong.
Phillips Run Drip and Bubble has an EXP. Well, that's cool. Oh yeah, Phillips Run Drip and Bubble. I plugged your J-turn challenge. So I've asked any of these guys who participate and do a J-turn for the Phillips Run Drip and Bubble J-turn challenge. I've asked any of them who do it to tag me on it, and I'll share it. I'm curious. I'd love to see your J-turns, people. Yeah, I don't know about the 2.3 over as a 200 with two cylinders locked. Okay, it doesn't sound like the 200 like in the Falcon or anything. So
You can get decent power. You can get decent power out of the 2.3s now with all the turbo advancements and everything else. There's
very much. Dizzy has a repair book for the Tempos and Contours. Well, if you have a Tempo or a Contour, you need the repair book. That's for sure.
Yeah. They were such a boring looking car. There was just nothing exciting about them at all.
Yeah, they were okay. They were okay. They were the needed evolutionary step in the 80s, But I got to tell you, the small cars of the 80s, I think, paled in comparison with the small cars 20 years before and after. They were just too complicated, too much vacuum tubing and hard plastic and emissions and junky, and trying to compete with the Japanese stuff that was built better. They were just that was not the brightest period in American automotive, the 80s compacts.
No. You went from the Malaysia of giant cars, then they had no power because of emissions, and then you went into the vacuum tubing nightmare of the 80s.
Oh, yeah. Well, and two, the metallurgy must have been awful. They didn't get good wear. The engines wouldn't last. And now we get things that last 200,000 and 300,000 and 400,000 miles with low tension rings. And, the engineering is better now. And simplicity was, of course, much better in the 60s and 70s. So you can do modern technology in the 60s and 70s. You can get a lot of the best of both worlds. That's kind of what I like.
I'm kind of all over the map. It just depends on what the vehicle is, really.
80s was
I've got 5 cars.
I agree with that.
Everything I've got right now is
yeah, I'm a carburetor guy, very much so.
You and new guys. He's a diehard carb guy.
Yep, carbs are great.
Yeah, there's a lot of tempo love in this room.
Well, I know some of them get it and some of them don't, but that's okay. Oh my goodness! Now Dean is talking about the Australian 2.3. It'd be interesting to go to Australia. Certainly never been. It would be interesting.
I've heard those Vera motors, the straight sixes, they can get a pretty good amount of power out of those things.
Oh yeah, very much so. Just Mopar Joe's got his engine out.
If you want to go.
Jay
I got
Bo's here
something in the
lurking.
mail. I got something in the mail. I don't know if it's from you or not. Oh. Well, thank you, John. I
Not from
appreciate
me.
that. That was very nice of you.
What? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's not from us.
That was not. I can't. And it was like you knew it was going to happen tonight or something. It's crazy.
That is crazy. That's creepy.
And it's even got a Jeep on it. That's nuts. That's kind of my thing.
That's pretty wild.
I'll have to show that to the camera again. That was very nice of you. I appreciate that.
That's
It's even
neat.
got the little font and everything. It's crazy. It's like I had that
I
made.
had no idea. That's a mystery to me.
Yeah, it's almost like I had that made this week. That's crazy.
Almost.
Well, this is going to be the only trophy I win, so I figured I might as well get mine out of the way. So
You never know. You never know. We got all kinds of crazy awards. I mean, we got awards like, worst oil down, got all kinds of awards. So
yeah, a local trophy shop even put the font on it and everything. I thought it was worth the $12.50 it cost me. So
hey, Twisted Mopar. No one there to tape it. Then at least get an in-car. At least do an in-car. You can do that. You know what? Here's what you do. When you're in the staging lanes, find somebody leaning on the fence and take them a couple channel stickers and say, hey, man, would you mind doing a video of my run? And then just come back and get it later. Then you have a run from the outside and do some in cars. You can do it. Just do what you can do, and you might be surprised. People will watch.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that everybody there is going to have a camera and just bring a business card or something with your email so that they know where to send stuff.
No, Colleen, I did not see your question to Scarlett. I hope Scarlett saw your question to Scarlett, though.
Summer wants to know if there's a sweatiest fat guy award.
Yeah. Big Block Joe now. Yeah, Joe is trying to leave the small block life behind, I think. He has taken, it's funny. Joe is going from a small block guy to a big block guy and going down 3 cubic inches from 408 to 405. And hopes to be quicker too. So that's pretty cool.
Hopefully it works out.
Yeah.
New Guy's Guitar said he'll video the run from his U-Haul.
That's what I saw. Indirect Connection says you can't rock the pink pants with a small block. Yeah, that was something. I think Blake made that. Looked like Blake's doing.
Yeah, but those were the Panther pink pants, right? So it's all okay. Mopar colors.
So. Frank McCart Rivet in F100 says, Thumper, your answer is no, just no. Makes me not want to know what Thumper asked.
With Thumper, you just never know.
Poor Boy says, big blocks for life. I like big blocks. I like small blocks. It's always been what I'm familiar with. But
I don't know. At this point, everything I've got is a straight 6. So I don't know. I guess I'm straight 6 for life.
So,
which actually,
Twisted Mopar Garage says, weather needs to straighten up. I'm sure Brian can help out, but he has his own car to get ready. That's interesting you say that, Dennis. Why don't you tell Brian that he has 180 days and 2 hours and 49 minutes to get his duster together?
There's not a lot of time to put that darn Chandler together. I just had to cut more of it out today.
Oh yeah, so New Guys Garage brings up something interesting. I saw a thumbnail on it, a throwback live, and I think I know what that means. But you tell me. Tell us what the throwback live is all about.
So we got a bunch of photos of us from like 10, 20 years ago, and that's part of it. But we're gonna show some of our first videos on the stream and make fun of each other, basically.
There's
and hopefully there'll be some helpful hints and tips too. That look at how bad we looked, and now we're doing better. So
yes, well that's how it works. Brian's in here. Good, Dust Devil. 180 days, 2 hours, 48 minutes. I got to tell you, Brian's duster is getting there. It definitely looks off now. So Brian is in good shape. We like to ease him about it. We can do it tomorrow, Dennis. Yeah, I'm telling you what. I think if Brian and Dennis helped each other with filming and content and stuff, those two could probably be a win-win. I know they live close together.
Yeah, and you get to, with the thumbnail picture, you get to figure out which one of us is which. One of us looks like a state trooper in training. The other guy's sexy saxophone player. You got to figure it out.
I saw that. I think I figured out one or two of them, and that's about it.
So one guy looks like a hippie. I might have lost 100 pounds since my photo was taken. You never know.
Right. Do I have that here? Maybe. Maybe not. Big Belly Racing, any updates on the Roadrunner? I actually have something pretty cool in the hopper for that. It's going to depend on where I get with my house project. I was actually meeting with one of the workers at my house project today. So there's a lot going to go on over there, and it's going to, we'll see what I got left over. I don't know if it's time and money are killing me on that place, but I have some great stuff I want to do. As soon as I get that house project put to bed, it's going to really change things for me. Auto Salvage Outlaw says the Fords are coming. Yes, they are. We will have a significantly bigger Ford presence at No Name Nationals this year than last. Evans Mopar says the 30th sub for Ron. Yep.
And at least one AMC/Jeep thing. So
that's right. And yeah, we're going to have more different makes represented. Houses are a rabbit hole. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
For sure. Ford takeover. Come and get it. There's a lot of Mopar guys got something to say about that. New Guys Garage, why don't you try to claim that bounty on Joe and see if you can take him out in the bracket? See if Professor Harbor Freight can put a whole shot on JMJ.
Did you see his new lightning shifter he got for the Mustang?
I saw a short. I didn't get to watch it, but I saw the thumbnail of my suggestion. So, yes, I did see it, but I didn't see it in action or anything.
It's like a discount Hurst Olds. It's only got 3 sticks instead of the 4 or 5. So, you know.
Right. I know what they are. That's cool. Professor Harbor. Yes, Danny boy. So, New Guys Garage, we call him Professor Harbor Freight. Thanks to Thumper, the sweaty fat guy, who gave him that nickname, Professor Harbor Freight. And in fact, let's see if I can do this.
No, Dean, let's not do a Tempo, Topaz, and Tracer takeover, please, for the love of God.
In fact, that is exactly how he's in my phone. Yeah, see, Thumper's saying that a 1590 car can beat a 550 car in the brackets. That is exactly right. So really the brackets, the brackets are something everybody can and should just enter. I mean, just do it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've never actually drag raced before, so that should be fun.
Hey, Dean Stevenson, I call him no main bearings breakage with Nitrous New Guy. I call him no main bearing breakage because his engine in the living room has no crankshaft in it. Hard to break a main when you don't have a crankshaft in your engine in the living room.
Just living room art. Come on now.
I appreciate that, Ron. I'm getting there. I got to tell you, it has been a huge undertaking, but it is amazing how far it's come. B&R is present. Hey, B&R, how's that call out looking with you in JB's little shop? B&R says bracket racing is hard. Yeah, it takes skill. New Guys has crankshafts around the engine, just not. Yeah, I get it. Yep, makes sense. Turbo Tom is bringing his Model T. I am so excited for that. I cannot wait to see a guy who goes by Turbo Tom driving a 1916 Model T Ford down the track next to a guy called New Guy's Guitar driving a U-Haul down the track. You tell me any other event on the face of the earth where you can see that.
But can he trailer the Mustang behind the U-Haul while he races them?
Listen, man, you're adding ornaments on top of a tree never before seen. Just it's the coolest thing ever.
Well, you might as well just keep building up the spectacle till it's too much.
Well, I mean, but you're already over the top, never been seen before. Let's just see if we can get the U-Haul and the Model T to happen.
Yeah.
Ron English says one-eyed cat's doing the bracket with a airplane rear gear. Yeah, and you can. It doesn't matter. It's just consistency. Junkyard D says, "Do I have a no-name national schedule?" Yeah, we have a flow of the events for the day, and it'll be real similar to last year, really close to that. Okay. I had it up on the website. I'm going to revise it. I'll put something out, but pretty much Thursday, figure you can get in there, probably open the gates around noon on Thursday formally. We understand long haulers need to get in there, but that's going to allow people to get teched in. We'll cruise over to Lambert's at 6 o'clock. And then we got maybe some evening festivities. We'll have a car show over there at Lambert's. On Friday, we're going to try to do our group photo first thing in the morning, then get the track hot so we can do some test and tune and jump into the bracket and call outs. Friday night will be the burnout competition. I think 7 p.m. is when we've had that. I think that's when we had it last year. The timing was really good on that. And then Saturday will be test and tune and call outs because we start each day with that. And then we're going to run the 28-10-5. And then Saturday, we shouldn't run late or anything. We'll have our awards ceremony, dinner time-ish, because people need to get on the road. But we'll have a flow similar to last year.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. How many people were actually there last year?
Oh, we had a lot. We probably had 200 channels represented. The track announced 105 cars. There were some that didn't go down the track and didn't have car numbers on top of that. Then there were people like, for example, Barrow's Garage, Two Hacks Garage, several guys whose car didn't make it because of breakage at the 11th hour, but they were still there. So we had probably 200 channels represented and a lot of spectator channels like that too.
Oh, that's cool. I think it's going to be fun. I think you'll have at least that many this year. So.
Poor Boys is asking about inspections. Yeah, we're going to have tech open on Thursday and Friday. We're going to have it open on Thursday to help alleviate that long line. Poor Boys Garage had an incredible car show from his space last year because his booth, he had to line up right in front of his booth to go through tech. So,
What time are you opening on Thursday?
well, we don't
Haywire?
necessarily have a formal time, but I'll say my guess would be, start streaming in at noon on Thursday, be fine. I mean, we want to have Deke set up to open tech on Thursday so that we can go ahead and start getting cars teched in. And then we'll cruise to Lambert should be 6 o'clock.
Okay. Because I've got Best Western Hotel reserved from Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's going to take me at least a day to drive down there. So.
Yeah.
I want to have time in case there's something I have to fix on the project car there too. So.
Hey, B&R, did you buy you some 410 gears? Poor boy said that was painful, but I understand. What was painful? Being stuck in the tech line? We're going to try to make sure that's better this year. So, Michael Schmidt, I've got to ask because the track, I've got to meet with the track. So I don't want to talk too much about a formal schedule until we've met with the track. We're supposed to meet with them here in the next couple of weeks. And once we do that, I'm going to have more structured things I can announce because there's a few details I'm just trying to get pinned down specifically. So we're supposed to meet with the track here in a few weeks and get some of those little details wrapped up. And yep. Poor boy says Best Western ? The party's the track. The party is the track.
No, I'd love to be able to do it. I just can't physically do it with all my medical issues. So.
Yeah, understood. That's totally understood.
Besides, you're going to have the Smothers Brothers and that U-Haul together overnight, so I don't even want to know what that's going to smell like by the end of the weekend. So
I feel bad for the guy who had the rental company who checks that back in.
Yes.
The windshield is going to have shoe polish on it, and the back is going to smell like bad life decisions. Two Hacks is back. Nathan's Mopar Garage. Nathan, I will tell you now, I don't know how many subs you've got, Nathan, but I'll say this. There's a lot of people say, well, I don't want to register till I get closer because I've had a channel for a year or two and I've only got 30 subs. But let me tell you, when you register and you get in this crowd and you start making content, it takes off. It changes things. It does. It takes your channel to another level, just getting in the flow of traffic with this group.
And like for me, it definitely helped. And I started making more stuff and started interacting more with everybody. And that helped on top of everything else as well. Being social with everybody is definitely helpful.
Yeah, it does. It does because it brings a lot of awareness to your channel. Nathan's at 165. Nathan, you could totally do this year. There is no question. 165 to 500 when you've got 180 days to do it, no doubt. Totally doable.
I don't think I was much over 200 subscribers I was right at 3 when I started in January.
Let me tell you exactly what you were, I think. Let's see. I started keeping the stat on all channels and not just No Name 500. You were at 341 when you registered. And you were the 63rd channel registered.
Cool.
Yeah, Brad's worried that I'm going to raise the bar of subs up to 30,000, so he might have to hustle a little bit.
No, hey, Landon just registered and dropped a $5 channel chat.
Landon was already registered. In fact, Landon was registered probably in the first hour. He was number 19 to register. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, Landon.
My apologies, Landon. I thought he said he just registered. Sorry about that, John.
Yeah, no, he's in there. He registered early. He said get a car ready or not. He wanted to support, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, I misread it. I thought he said he just registered, not just registered. Like, come on, do it.
Yeah, Landon was he was early. Landon was the 19th channel to register. So he had to have registered in like the first hour to get that.
Yeah, I wasn't
Tony
sure about.
9. Tony was number 9.
I wasn't really sure if I was going to do it until I started talking with new guys, and it was just like, what the hell, let's do it.
There were about 15 channels that were trying to go midnight. So, I mean, there were probably that many in the first couple minutes and probably 20 some in the first hour.
No, that's good.
NSB is no joke if you want to call them out. Good luck. I agree. Stephen Holtz is here. Glad you could make it, man. Joe is asking Brian how the Duster is and if it'll make Mocan. For those of you just wandering in, just to let you know, 6% Recycled has just made his 500th sub. He has punched his ticket. He's the 5th channel to make it this year, which puts Tony's Hot Rod Garage as the leader now.
You can do it, Tony.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think that puts One-Eyed Cat in second place. Yeah. So One-Eyed Cat. So Tony's at 448. One-Eyed Cat's at 445. Let me refresh the list now because that was before the live started, obviously.
Yeah, because Tony was ahead of me for quite a while, and then One-Eyed Cat and I kind of bounced back and forth around the same number, and then I bounced past them, but they're coming back up again.
So Landon says he's been on YouTube 9 months and has 1,920 subs and 3,456 watch hours. Cool. Totally doable.
Yeah, my watch hours are great. I've got like 3.5 thousand, but my subs have been, this is the highest I've ever been. It's the subs are taking a lot longer than the watch hours for me.
Dust Devil Brian won't make Mocan with the car, but he's going to make Mocan. Well, we're looking forward to seeing that Duster, Brian. It's been a while coming. It's going to be exciting. Joe says that Ed's machine is working on 1,000. Gosh, it seems like Ed just got 500. He's already working on 1,000.
Awesome.
Cool. See, that cope is lurking. What's up, Brian?
One-Eyed Cat says he's coming for Tony.
Yep, he is. They're 3 subs apart. So right now, Tony's at 448 and the One-Eyed Cat's at 445. Who in the chat, let us know. Who is going to get to 500 first? Tony's Hot Rod Garage or the One-Eyed Cat? Tony's at 448. One-Eyed Cat's at 445 as of right now. I'll tell you what. We're going to have a contest in the chat. And oh my gosh, I hope my mom is still watching because if she's watching, she's good at this thing. I won't do it until she tells me she's watching. If you're watching this, put a message in the chat to let me know because I cannot possibly do it while I run this live. Or if Unfinished Project can. He's a good administrator. So Unfinished Project, if you can do this. In the chat, I want you to put in there, and it's just for people watching this chat, okay? Just for watching this chat while it's live. Okay, yeah, Mom's there. I just saw. Okay. For people watching this chat on the live, not a comment later, put in here whether you think it's going to be Tony or Don to get there first and what date. So what we'll do is we'll go through all of the ones who say Tony or Don, and whichever ones get it right, then we'll use the date for the tiebreaker. So whoever gets the right one and the closest will win some no-name national swag.
And thank you for saying I can race your tempo 2 hacks, but I'm good. Thank you very much.
So let us know in the comments right now. Tony or Don, no, pick who you think's going to get it and what the date. So it looks like 2 hacks is saying Tony. Just whichever one you think will get it first and what date. So for example, 2 hacks has Tony on April 2nd. That's his guess. Road Beer has Tony on April 3rd.
I have a prediction.
Okay, what's yours?
Whoever makes the most content and the most consistent content for the next 2 weeks will be there first.
Well,
I know
that's
kind of
that's probably true. All right, but you guys make
I like
Smoke
them both.
Beer's got one. Okay, Nathan's Mopar.
I'm going to say Tony though because he sent me stickers.
Garage.
So
Tony's going
let's
to
go,
indirect
Tony.
connection. Tony April 1st. New guys Tony April 5th. Buck is saying Don will do it on April the 6th. So I'm going to send some NNN swag to both the winner of this, who gets the 500 first, and whoever wins it in the comments by picking the right person, the closest to the date.
Good luck, guys.
Yep. See lots of guesses here. This is good. Got to be while we're live, though. Comments after the fact, watching it on replay. I appreciate you watching, but you got to watch it live to be in this. Cool. That'll be fun.
Oh, hey, Tony, I had messaged you in a couple things on saying I thank you for the stickers. I guess we never touched base. No, the mailman did not lose the stickers. I got them. Thank you.
Yeah, for those of you who might have just tuned in, if you want to, we're going to send out some No Name National swag to whoever can guess, whether it will be Tony's Hot Rod Garage or Don, the One-Eyed Cat, cross the finish line first. One's at 4:48, one's at 4:45, and what date. So whoever gets closest is going to get some swag, and so will the winner of that too, Tony and or Don.
They're both good guys. I've been on a couple lives with them. I'm looking forward to meeting them both in person.
Copperhead Customs is going to have Dylan McCool on live Monday. Yep, that's cool.
That's awesome. He's a really good guy. I like his channel.
What's that? New Guitars got Tony April 3rd. All right. Now, you know what will be funny is if we have this contest and then Rob's Rods and Streetcars come soaring around them from 424 and beats them both. That would be interesting. And that'd be welcome. Big Block 402 says Tony April 1. LNA says Tony's, but you got to have a date on there, man.
Unity's saying they both
everybody else.
Unity Motorsports is saying Tony and Don both on the same day.
Could be. But the same day, you got a date. Dust Devil Garage has Tony April 5th. And Scarlett has Dawn on April 4th. LNA says April 3rd, and you said Tony earlier, so I'm assuming you mean Tony on April 3rd. Unity says Tony on April 7th. Okay, that's all we need. And Don and April's got the same day, but you're not picking who, so can't win that way. Who's going to get it first, Andy? Which is going to get it first on April the 7th? Look at you saying, wow. Tony has Harleys and Mopar, so he wins. Well, let me tell you, YouTube viewers like things very much. Dust Devil says the top three are all good guys. Absolutely. Totally agree. We had a great group for the No Name 500 this year, as we did last year, which Brian was part of the No Name 500 last year and punched his ticket.
Everybody's been extremely supportive.
Yeah, it's been a blast. It's a blast. Michael Schmidt says, how fast are the slant sixes here in the quarter? Just wondering. Depends who slant six you're talking about. Yeah, that's right. Andy's birthday. That's right. Andy's birthday. Andy, you'll be what, 44? Andy's not even halfway to 90. Just Mopar Joe says, Andy, will Casper be dialed in before No Name Nationals, asking for a friend? I like that angle. Okay, Tony by 8 hours. So Andy says Tony on April 7th. All right. I like this. So the One-Eyed Cat says, that's my new motivation challenge accepted. Don't ever underestimate Don. Don is competitive. And Tony's here, so he hears it. So there they are. They're both here. This will be really cool. If you guys are battling this thing out door to door here in the next couple of days, we can have you both on a live at the same time, and you can both pitch your case to the audience. That would be fun to do.
There you go.
You never know. Might happen. Andy says, Joe, tell your friend he will have to find out. Andy, I'm going to be really glad when you get all your testing, tuning, and ancient desk clutter done so that you can start working on your call-outs and matchups for No Name Nationals, because we've got 180 fun days of that. You get the old business off the desk. Joe is saying Tony's going to make it March 31st. Okay, that's a great prediction.
Other than the tire size, are there any specific rules for the 28-1050 class? Or?
Very few. So last year's rules are simply steel roof and quarters. No. I mean, really, it's for just basically it has to be a car. You can't come in there in a panel built Pro Mod.
Well, no, I wasn't sure, but like X number of horsepower, X number, blah blah blah, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive.
No. If we get enough turnout for it, and probably not this year, but maybe next year after, if we get the turnout for it, I would like to split that class. But the problem is that there are just way too many ways people want the Apple split for 28-10.5. So we'll see. Right now, I would be thrilled to have a nice, good field of 28-10.5 guys. And the way 28-10.5 works, because it has a considerably bigger purse, and on top of your regular registration fee, it's the only thing that there's any fee for on top of your registration fee. It's $100 bill, on the day to enter. $100 bill, bring your $100 bill to the chip draw for the lanes, and then you're in, because the payout is bigger for 28-10.5. Because those cars are more expensive. They're more expensive to run. Don is throwing down.
I can always throw a 28-1050 tire on my Chambler, but it's not going to be competitive unless I'm going to sneak in on somebody. But
you can.
It is 4-wheel drive, so.
Andy says I'm still cleaning up from last year. Yeah, Andy, get that old business off your desk. Let's get some fresh stuff going. Casper needs to make its No Name Nationals debut. Casper didn't get to make it last year. I want to see Casper making the No Name Nationals debut with some. There's some great stuff. This needs to happen. I went and watched Casper's first drag strip pass on the new motor here last month. And he rolls in there, drives in. He drives an hour or close to it to get there. He rolls in, drives straight down to the lanes, rolls in, off idle, runs a 689, and he rolls back up, right? Just like that. 10-second truck, drives it there, just rolls in, does business, and that's that. That's off idle. That's really impressive.
More power to him. That's pretty badass.
See where he goes when he really gets it sorted out.
Yeah. Oh, dumb question of the day. What about helmets? I'm assuming I'm just going to buy one, but I'm assuming my car wouldn't technically require one for the speed it's going to not be going. But
yeah, so you must have a helmet to race. If you are 765 and slower in the 8th, you can have a DOT helmet, like a motorcycle helmet. If you are 764 or quicker in the 8th, you must have a Snell helmet 2015 or newer. Now, I would venture to say that your Chambler will probably not be running 7s in the 8th. So you can probably be okay with a DOT helmet, which is a lot less expensive. Motorcycle helmet.
Yeah.
You can find motorcycle helmets at yard sales.
Yeah, unless I strap a couple JATO rockets to it, it's not going anything near.
Turbo Tom is saying Dawn is going to hit 500 subs on April 1st at 5 p.m. You know, and if that's the case, you're that specific, we might not even need a tiebreaker there. Turbo Tom could just be prophetic in this whole thing. How wild would that be? Yes, Ed's machine is a machinist. Ed's machine.
Makes sense.
Well, it's funny because there's a lot of channels that are a garage that aren't a garage.
Yeah.
But Ed's machine is a machine shop. So it's, yeah,
like
you guys think about that.
New Guy's Garage technically doesn't have a garage.
So. Hey, Brian, or Brad, rather. I filmed Andy's 689, and the Troll Channel still thinks it's fake, and I filmed it. I'm the one who took the video that you see on Andy's channel of it running the 689. I mean, it's as real as it gets. He did that like on a 1,500 RPM launch. Copperhead Customs, I don't know how many cars we had. You saw what we had last year. Well, should have more this year. I'm proud to sell tickets to it. I mean, people had a great time and more want to come this year than last. So apparently the show was plenty good enough for people to want to be back.
How many people does the Motorsports Park actually hold in the stands?
Well, the stands, well, I mean, it's got just small stands. But what we noticed is the gate was really big, but the stands, they were just sprinkling of people. But it's because they were all in the pits meeting the YouTube content creators. Like the line over at Bad Tree and the line at Barrow's pits, I mean, they just never ran out. There's people over there all the time because that's where the spectators were. They drove from all these places to meet their favorite YouTube content creators. They didn't want to just sit in the stands and watch. The people who were sitting in the stands and watching were the locals who just wanted to come out and watch the racing, right?
Yeah.
But we had a bigger gate than normal because they were all in the pits. So it was just an interesting, you know, so I guess that's probably what we would expect to see this year too.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of people I'd like to meet too, so it'll be fun on both counts.
Rich says, I'll never be able to make any judgment calls like that. I've been here too long and haven't gotten enough. Tell you what, Rich, it's amazing how little it takes to just make it all turn around on a dime. Yeah, poor boys. He left off idle and went a 155 60 foot. That's a 4,080 pound truck, by the way. 99 miles an hour with that. Converter is way too tight for this combo. An Unfinished Project just put up the registration link. So if you want to register, that's the direct link that Unfinished Project put up. And I think I'll hop over there.
And the one thing I'm going to do next month is join the AHRA.
Join the AHRA? Well, I got to tell you, people are really enjoying the Racers Rep program. People are saving significant money. Two Hacks, his first order, way more than paid for his membership. Yeah. I mean, so he's already money ahead.
With doing the hotel reservations this month, I got to wait till next to join. So.
Understood. I mean, yeah, we all have skin in the game. It costs us all in time and money and sacrifices. I get it. And I appreciate all of you very much because of that.
Well, I also want to show support. I mean, this wouldn't be possible without you, but it also wouldn't be possible without them. So.
Well, yeah. Well, these guys are everything. I mean, this community. See, that's the thing about this event that's so important to me. A lot of these other events, and I have no problem with any of them, but they sell tickets to the fans, and then they hire the talent to come in for the event. Well, to me, that's, you have the important people that they're paying to be there, then all the people who are paying for them to be there and then make money off of it. That's not what we do here. Here, all of you guys who are here, the Two Hacks Garages and the Just Mopar Joes, and all of you guys, you are the show. The 6% Recycled, you are the show. And we want to be there for each other. And we're putting on a show for the people who buy tickets to come and watch and meet the content creators. But you guys are the show. You're not just there helping pay the bills and filling spots and car counts. No, you guys really are. When One-Eyed Cat is there as a participant and he's racing his 62 Valiant down the track, he is the show. And I got to say, the YouTube community puts on a show second to none. I mean, gosh, the Burnout Contest was wild. The 28-10-5 was wild. The bracket was great. It was all just great.
Well, for people like me, I don't have a drag car. So me going to a drag and drive or any of those other events is not really, it doesn't make any sense. I don't have the vehicle for it. But for something like this, just being here is half the fun. Racing is kind of secondary for me, but I know it isn't. It's the other way around.
The car is bringing a U-Haul to race because this is a content creator family reunion, and the racing just happens as part of it. We want you to be there. And the rest will take care of itself.
Oh, and I did drop a teaser short today for what we're calling M3 Labs, which is myself, New Guys, Witty, and Junkyard Necromancer. We have a special side project where we're going to be doing testing, and we're dedicated to answering the questions no one asked. So we're charging hard forward on that. So there should be a lot of fun stuff by the time we get to No Name. It's sort of in the works.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Roy Boy says No Name National is like a chill and grill, but with hot rodders. Yeah, exactly. It's what it is. BNR, here's the thing about so far. We don't know because, like, for example, there are people like our friend John Cope who will probably not register until he is sitting in the truck to come down. And then we have people who register who probably won't show up. They'll find a reason not to show up even though they've already registered. So between the two, how do you really even get a count? All I can say is we are ahead of where we were last year on registrations. And last year we had a great group and a great show. So I don't know. I really don't know. It could take years to get any metrics that would be dependable enough to project such a thing, but I think with the exception of just simply covering the bills, it really doesn't matter. We've already proven we can pull plenty enough to cover the bills, so we're good. We just want as many cool people who want to do this.
I think, that was my concern about the numbers, which is simply because I want to be able to keep doing this. I want to make sure that it does enough to keep itself doing it.
Yeah, right. That's all. That's really all that matters to me. I want as many people want to be able to do this as possible. But, as long as we have all the cool people here. Andy's got to go. He's headed to Detroit for work and be back Friday to take care of business on Saturday. Well, good, man.
I'm about 20 minutes north of Detroit myself. That's where I live, so.
Well, Andy, there's only so many classes we can try to do, but I get it. But it doesn't make sense, but I get it. Thing is, though, is that we got such a diverse group. Like, we estimate that last year, 85% of the participants had not been on a drag strip before. 85%. So when you look at that statistic and you start saying we need more classes, but that's because we've got guys who are just ringers, who are experienced racers. And so we're trying our best to cater to the people here. And that's the balance, and it's not easy. Poor Boy's Garage says there's so many heavy hitters I want to see this year. Yep, you're one of them. Something Garage sneaked in here. Hope he is finally on the mend. He been having a little bit of rough. Danny Boyd says New Guy's Guitar is going to get banned from U-Haul. Indeed, he may. I think that Dan would be very proud of him if he did.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's actually the goal at this point. He might be trying to get a Ryder truck rental sponsorship by destroying a U-Haul. I don't really know.
Thankfully, the drag racing isn't heads up or I wouldn't win anything. Well, we do have call-outs, You can run heads up. You can run heads up in 28-10-5. I mean, you can run heads up. You can call out. You can actually negotiate lengths in your call-outs if you want. I don't think anybody did last year, but you can. Again, we offered a little bit more specializing with call-outs than people even wanted to take advantage of last year. So it looks to me like most people just want to go and have a good time and are not really worried too much about competition. That said, we do have some opportunities to be competitive.
Is it a pro tree or what type of, is any specific type of tree or anything like that for the?
So 28-10-5 is run on an instant green. That does help level the field a little bit. It's run on an instant green. And the bracket is run on a Sportsman tree. Ron English Weekend Pass, yes, because that's overwhelmingly what people wanted last year. Again, that's a difference between a race where the spectators are local and a race where the spectators come from everywhere. Last year, we had spectators literally coming 1,000 miles to meet the YouTube content creators. So they weren't coming for one day. So overwhelmingly, the weekend pass is what people wanted to do. We still have single days. We still do. But weekend pass is overwhelming. So again, understand a lot of these details we iron out more specifically as time goes on. We announce them plenty ahead of time, but we let last year tell us a little bit about how to tweak it for this year and so forth and so on. Poor Boys, we do have some stuff planned. I got something really cool and fun I'm working on for Thursday. And here, within probably about a month, I should be able to have a real good idea. I got to keep it under wraps.
Cool.
Tell Cope to get it done. I don't even know. I don't even remember what we were on then. Dust Devil says, I don't know anyone who was there last year that isn't coming back. Well, overwhelmingly, we have to have, by far, the best retention rate of any event in the country. I just don't think there's any question about that. Our retention rate's got to be 99%.
That's awesome. Dean Stevenson said people arrived in buses and caravans.
We have caravans. I'm sure we'll have caravans.
Sorry, Dean said people arrived in buses and caravans to see the innies.
So I missed a question from Michael Schmidt. I don't know how I got behind, but he had a question about something. Michael, if you could repost that, I would appreciate it. Because somehow I got behind, and when I went to it, it just took off. I must have clicked on the bar to scroll by mistake. So if you would repost your question, I would appreciate it. He said rookie question or where to ask.
Oh, New Guy's Guitar wants to do a no-name band for the No Name Nationals. So I think everybody seems to be interested in doing a garage band, for lack of a better term. They've got the U-Haul for it. So
hey, Rich. Rich says, I've got to tell you, I have an unfair advantage. I have a CDL Class B driver's license. I went through the same courses the cops go through. Okay, come show us how it's done, man. I want to see you in the bracket. Rich 220 is telling us he's got an unfair advantage, and I think we will forgive him. He should come do the bracket. Man, comments must be moving quick.
They are. I'm trying to follow them, and it's they're going pretty quick.
Yeah. Yep. There we go. Who do we ask questions in between lives? Yeah, Michael, ask me. My email, and anybody can put it up, it's john@princetondragway.com. It's in my about on my channel, john@princetondragway.com. That's who you can send questions. But the best place to get info and updates is right here. This channel, Friday nights, 8 Eastern. This is the place to get your info and updates. And where we usually do updates a bunch at a time is when I have Dallas Brown on, the AHRA president. I'll have him on, about every 2 or 3 weeks. I will have him on. Of course, this is the season for him, so it's a little more sporadic once the season starts. But we will answer questions. So, and as the season progresses, we have more answers, little changes we make.
I've noticed a lot of people don't have an email in their channel description, so it can be hard to try to figure out how to get a hold of them if you want to do something that isn't a direct question.
Yeah, man, they should. They really should. Yeah, there you go. Unfinished project, just put it up. I'll go ahead and highlight that. Yeah, so you can email me. And the thing about email me is if it's something I can answer, I can answer. But if it's something I can't answer, let's say I need Deke to answer, Deke can answer. If Dallas needs to answer, Dallas can answer. Or if it's a question about the track and we need to say get like Dominic, the track manager, to answer it, we can do that. So I might not be the person who can answer. Maybe I am. But if I'm not the person who can answer, I do know for sure who the person who can is. Well, Rich, we'd like to see if you can. Am I the only one buffering? I don't know, because I probably have the jankiest internet connection and hardware set up here of anybody. So I wouldn't know. Well, look at that. Did Rich 220 get another call out from 38 POS Racing? Well, Rich is a popular. Rich, you've got 3 call outs. It's pretty awesome. Pretty popular, man, for real.
Yep. He is definitely popular.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously, that's pretty cool. We got it, Rich. We all got to make it happen.
Poor Boys Garage are the same track guy is going to be there this year.
So the Poor Boys Garage. The answer is no, because when Larry Jeffers bought the IHRA, he had a lot of staff turnover and so forth and so on. And so he's got a different track manager this year. However, that said, I am certainly inviting the Schmidt family, Barkley, Angie, Lindsay, because they have a car and they want to get their channel developed. And if they get the subs, we'd love to have them come participate. So, yeah. So it's a good possibility they could, but it would actually be even cooler if they could come and just be participants instead of having to run the tractor and be busy crazy all day. Rich says, what do you want to race against, the 57 or the 69 olds? Rich, got to make it happen. I mean, I would worry about just getting registered, getting the subs, and then having anything first. Just you figure it out. You figure it out. Make a call out of your own, Rich. Call somebody else out. That'll motivate you to get your hardware together.
Yeah, he's getting roasted a bit in the chat, John, just so you know.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's I got to say, Rich has got his thing and a little swagger and stuff, and people are, they're touche. It's okay. It's all good.
We all rib each other, I guess, to an extent. We're all car people.
I did see Rich. We do. We got to. So you do what you got to do. I understand. And if you can, and that's cool. I mean, it's one of these things. When we have hundreds of people, that statistically, it's not possible that it's going to work for everybody. Like, it's not possible that everybody can make that day. It's not possible that it's just the way life works. But
yeah,
It'd be great.
Someone asked, "What's Barkley's channel?" I didn't. It went by so fast. I didn't know who. I didn't see who it was.
Dizzy, no, they need their own channel. But I'm telling you, an 18-year-old girl with a Mustang called the Urinal Biscuit that runs low sevens in the eighth will have no problem getting 500 subs.
Yeah,
no problem at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One short video to 500 subs. Yeah.
Okay. Trust me, they will not have any problem getting their subs. We just need to get them. I need to call Angie and work that out. Yeah, I'll say this. You know, Rich is getting a little action, a little buzz going here, but I'll give him credit because look, it's kind of like the faces and heels of entertainment thing. You know, reaction means you're doing something. It means you're effective. And Rich is doing just that. Rich has us. He has our interest. We all know who he is, and that's a cool thing. That works.
So he's a pro wrestling heel at this point?
He could be. It's the role he's playing, but he's doing good. but he's getting the reaction, you see.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I'm hoping that it all works out for you to make it, Rich. Love to see you there. Yes, World of Wood Chip. That's the name of that car. It's on the back glass. It's a black Fox body Mustang called the Urinal Biscuit, and has a teenage girl who drives it, and it runs deep sevens. It's got a small block Chevy in it, I believe, if I recall correctly. And the car was built. I'm pretty sure the car was built by Larry Jeffers Race Cars. It's a cool car. I've seen it. I've seen it testing. So, it'd be cool. Rich, you can get subs. It's one of these things. You'd be surprised what you can do if you make it happen, because we got guys who do it.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about it, Rich. You're on the radar of a lot of people right now. So you've done something a lot of guys can't seem to do. I'll give you a lot of credit.
You just got to put the effort in and just put the time aside. I know it's not easy for everybody, but if you want it, you got to do it.
Yep. And Rich wants a piece of Brad and his Roadrunner. Well, make it happen. Dizzy says she runs 717. Exactly. Yeah, that's about right. Yep.
That's fast.
Try to save that if I can.
Yeah, and like I'm sorry, the comment went by so fast. If you want to see a U-Haul run an 1/8 mile, subscribe to New Guys Guitar.
Yes. Man, we got a big, lovely crowd in here. Still got a bunch of people in here. We've just been hanging out. So for those of you who've drifted in a little bit late, I'll just recap. 6% Recycled was the 5th channel this year to make it over 500 subs and punch his ticket to the 2nd annual No Name Nationals in Sikeston, Missouri. 5th this year so far. And now we have a little bet going to see who in the comments can guess. Will it be Tony's Hot Rod Garage or the One-Eyed Cat? They are at 448 and 445 subscribers, respectively. Who will get there first and what date? And whoever gets the closest is going to get some No Name National swag sent their way. So, but you got to make your guess live in the chat. If you're watching this on replay, I appreciate you watching, but can't do that. So this is just for that. So if there's any last guesses, if you have not already guessed, you can put one in the comments. Will it be Tony or will it be Don? And what date?
Sorry, John. New Guys comment about how many subs he had in September might be kind of important for Rich to see.
New Guys Garage had 180 subscribers in September of 2022, and now he has 17,101. So just bear in mind the subscriber gods can surprise people from time to time.
Sometimes they work in your favor as well.
Yeah, and for all of your Harbor Freight tech needs, go check out youtube.com/New Guys Garage.
There you go.
Unfinished project, I got to check on that. But I'm going to find out. If they're game, I'm game. I'd love to have them. Mopar Jeff 604 says, Tony will get it on May the 7th. Wow.
That's hard.
Wendy English is saying that Dawn will make it on May 1st. Wendy, you think it's going to take Dawn until the 1st of May to get to 500 subs?
That's just mean.
Rich says he wants to surprise everybody and show up with both cars. I would love that. That would be awesome. That would be fantastic. And Steven's right. You have to register at some point. And you got to get your subs. But yes, I totally agree with Rich. And I understand your job is important. I tell people all the time, I mean, you got to work when you got to work. Your family comes first. Your health comes first. I understand that. Absolutely. But, you know, I mean, you got the whole other part of your life to make sure all that's squared away. But for 2 hours a week, we talk about other stuff here while we're all together. That's just the reason we do it that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Colleen Tebow, I'm going to ask them if they want to relaunch a channel or whatnot, and we'll see. Because as you well know, just because you have a lot of time on YouTube or whatever doesn't mean that you've been serious about YouTubing all that time. My channel goes back to 2006, but I bet I didn't put up a video until about 10 years ago. And even then, I probably didn't have over 100 subs until just a few years ago. So it's not a linear curve by any means. You know, Twisted Mopar Garage, I'm going to say no, you actually can. You would be surprised at some of the junk that people have subscribed to, especially with shorts. Put out, I'm telling you, Dennis, I'm telling you, I can help you with a very simple, we can come up with a real simple little formula that will get you subscribers. I'm telling you, it'll be simple to do. "38's wanting me to check email. He must have, that means that's code for he sent me something." Colleen says stupid sells. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
I mean, that's Whistling Diesel's whole gimmick, right? Is I personally would love to grow faster, but I'm trying to build a brand, and it's going to take time.
Poor Boy's Garage, how many does Dan need? You talking about New Guy's Garage, Dan? Dan's channel is almost as big as yours, Brad.
Yeah. No, New Guy's Guitar, I think he's at around 120.
He was at 119. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other Smothers brother.
Dan, stupid is not 21st century smart, but it is 21st century popular. All you have to do is watch game shows that go on today, and you will realize that people just drink up. I think it makes them feel better about their lives to watch people with extremely low IQs that are excited by, you know, lasers and things that flash and move. It's got to be.
I'm afraid you're right.
Well, see, Scarlett is showing something here. I have 1,500 unique viewers with 89 subs. That's because you have an extremely cool car. And most viewers are what we call things people. They're all about things. Oh, look at that car. Look at that car. But you got to get them to come back. And so you got to have a little bit of a following. I think if you got out and did some videos with the car, driving around, doing things, going places, you know, you could get more of a following like that.
Yeah. And people need to know it's not just the car, it's you. They need to associate you with the car.
For real. Big Belly Racing says, are you and Dallas going to race? No, Dallas does not race in his own stuff, and I cannot either. So, you know the old thing where back before you had auto timers and all for cameras, someone had to take the picture? Well, I'm that guy. So I'm not racing in my own stuff. I love this stuff just like you guys do, but to me, I'm going to run it. and be there that whole week to run it. And if I was there with a car, it would change everything, and not for the better for the event.
John, well, could you and Dallas just run each other as like an exhibition so that it's just you guys get a chance to race?
No, because then you're still there with a car. You're still investing a ton of time in your car. If we did something like that, it would probably be somewhere else. It'd probably make a video on it, something like that. Now, that could happen.
What if somebody lent you their cars?
I don't know. I know that Dallas would probably, I couldn't care less about the who wins stuff. I just, it's just all good fun. But Dallas's car probably runs about a 620. That Dart Sport should run into the sixes, probably a 680 car. I mean, it wouldn't be that close. And Dallas would definitely win, but it would be fun, Wendy just wants to be my driver, and man, you don't know how much I appreciate that. I probably walked 10 miles No Name Nationals weekend, just running back and forth, get stuff done. So I'll tell you what, without Wendy, I wouldn't have made it. My feet were blistered because No Name Nationals were weak for me.
And Terry's going out tech tips on channel subscriber count. So
yeah, I'm telling you, it's consistency and just putting it out there. You'd be surprised. Yeah,
my daily driver Cherokee, my most popular video, almost 8,000 views. I was going to sell it, and now it's the most popular car on my channel.
Yeah,
and it's just a regular everyday car.
Yep.
It's responsible for about half the views on my channel.
Yeah. Well, people like things. That's the thing, more than ideas. But people with good ideas can come up with things people want to see. So Indirect Connections working on content. Indirect Connections, one of these guys that has a stellar work ethic, and Jason is a make it happen guy. So when he said he's working on content, he is, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to that live stream we're doing Monday to just see how everybody's progressed, like new guys and Junkyard and everybody, because I know looking at my stuff, it hasn't even been a year, but I was horrible compared to now.
But for those who didn't see it earlier, this is the kind of thing. So I got a quote from my friend Just Mopar Joe probably a few years ago, and I made a sign of it for the office. This is Joe's quote, but I love it. For those of you who did not see this earlier, I didn't get it hung, but it's a Joe quote, and this sign, it shouldn't offend anybody here. You guys are the doers because you're here, right? But there's somebody, hey, man, I resemble that remark. But I'm telling you, the people who are in the chat here, they're not the kind of people, But it was cool. So I made it in Joe's colors and gave him credit for it.
Like you said, Bear Rose and Buck and everybody, you just got to do it. You got to get out there. You'll find a crew. You'll find what you want to present yourself as. You'll find where your niche is. You just got to do it.
I'm going to say so. Okay. So I'm going to take this on. Rich says, my channel goes back to 2006. My first video was 14 years ago. My channel goes back to 2006 also, but I'm going to tell you something. Okay. I teach firearms professionally. You know how many people come to my classes who have shot guns for 50 years, and yet they leave shooting a whole lot better than they did when they got there? Now, why is that? Well, it's not because of the experience. It's because we change some of the things that make them better. You can be on YouTube for 10 years and get this many subs in 10 years, and then we can change a few things and get this many subs in 10 days. That's the difference. And the proof is in the pudding. Look at the guys last year. Some of them had channels for years and years and years. And then when they got into how they title their stuff, how they edit it, how they shoot it, when they put it out, and they got into all of these things that we cover in the content creator workshops, their channels took off.
Yep. No, I started implementing stuff. I know new guys did as well, with changing titles, changing hashtags, changing skins. Yeah. And I've noticed little things, it's little here and there, but every little bit is something. Little bits add up.
Yeah, and the thing that makes it, the thing that I just love is, because sometimes it can be tough doing this, but you got people like, and again, you got these just super attitudes like Poor Boy's Garage. Brad is just, people like him are ones that make you feel good and keep you going. I mean, it can be tough, but man, he's one of those that's just rock solid, making it happen kind of guy, and I love that. We got so many of them. You guys that are like that, which congregate here on Fridays, you are the ones who keep me going, and I appreciate it.
It's very cool.
It's just great. I appreciate it. I mean, there's too many. I mean, I could just there's just such a list of them here. Poor Boys is one, and I think of Patrick, and I see Steven. I mean, Steven drives up here from Texas and changes gears and changes wheel studs so he can run the right wheels and everything. And I mean, never complained once, just comes up, makes it happen. You gotta love people like that. Big Belly Racing asks a question for you, 6% Recycled, Scott.
Okay, what am I doing over here? Come on.
Exactly. Any AMCs registered this year? Why, yes.
But
Irish Outlaw Garage will probably bring his AMC also. So we'll have a few.
Yeah, he's got a Javelin, I believe, right? I've been so busy with my own stuff, I haven't been able to watch almost anybody's content, unfortunately. I get snippets here and there of everybody's stuff.
And that's where it goes. That's where it goes. This is Damian and I makes everyone cringe sometimes. And one thing I really appreciate about the Colleen and Damian show there at M&M, man, they're not afraid of anything. They'll take anything on. And they, what's awesome is they never get their egos wrapped around the axle of it ever, which is nice. They just do it. And people appreciate the honesty in that.
That's cool. No, and I am a Jeep guy. Is this trophy clearly establishes I am a Jeep guy first, but I'm following AMCs.
For sure.
No, and don't send John angry emails. I did that myself as a gag. Thank you. Don't.
Well, I was seeing it for the first time with you, and I thought, man, that actually looks really official there. He went into a lot of detail there.
If you need trophies made, let me know, because I just picked a local shop by me and they did a fantastic job. So
I gotta tell you there, he rickrolled me pretty good with that. I'm like, what? He had me scratching my head. That's pretty funny. I like that. Big Belly says, I thought you were a Jeep guy.
What? Jeep and AMC are the same thing. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Technically, my AMC, my main project right now is an AMC body that someone stuck to a Jeep Cherokee chassis, and I'm death trap machining it. So
yeah. AMC made Jeeps, what, 72 to 86?
Yeah,
right?
I believe it's technically 87, 88, but it's technically everybody made Jeeps, because you've got Chrysler transmissions, Ford ignitions, Chevy columns, power steering pumps. It's a hodgepodge.
Barrows said it took him a year to get to 42. And then when he put the effort into it, he took off.
Barrows and Buck have been great to bounce ideas off of, great to talk to, very helpful, super kind guys. I'm glad to call them friends. I'm looking forward to meeting them in person.
Something Garage wants to get his family involved in his channel. I got to tell you, that's great. I love seeing families involved in channels. I just think it's so much fun. It's great.
And dogs. Dogs. Don't forget the dogs.
Yes. Well, mine has moved to where it's darker and quieter. Probably interrupting his nap.
Yeah, my shorts do horrible. My shorts are horrible unless these idiots are in them. So
89 was the swan song for AMC with the Grand Wagoneer, according to 38 POS.
There was some little transfer back and forth, but like the Cherokee and the Wranglers were technically AMC designed. Chrysler took over. So
yeah, Poor Boys, Barrows legit. We got a lot of legit people in here. I got to tell you that the community around the No Name Nationals is second to none. It's great. It'll never be the biggest community on all of YouTube, but it's a great community.
I was lucky enough I met Junkyard Necromancer, who isn't in it this year, And through him, I met new guys, and through new guys, I started meeting all you guys, and it just kind of snowballed.
Mm-hmm. Guys, we're actually past our time. We've had a huge crowd in here, but having time all of this time. So we'll can it down here in the next 10 minutes just to keep from wearing everybody out any worse than we already have. But it's been a great crowd, been a blast. The time has flown by. So you guys have anything else? And I'll be getting more guests scheduled, as we go into the spring. I know it's been a little light with Dallas because he's been traveling to tracks. In fact, this weekend he's at Wilkesboro.
Do you mind if I plug something real quick, John?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I've started a new series on my channel called Michigan Makes. I'm going to different shops around the state. And the first one was at A&A Manufacturing. They make fabricated race car parts like brackets, components, stuff that you can weld into your cars. And the next one that's coming out this week it's Sweet Manufacturing. If you've ever raced a round car, anything, drag car, you've probably run a Sweet component. They make custom steering components. Randy Sweet, who unfortunately passed away, started the company in the late 60s, early 70s, and he was akin to a Smokey Yunick in terms of the amount of innovation he did for circle track racing. He's in 2 Hall of Fames. I'm trying to compile all the Randy stuff into this. It's amazing. When he passed away, he left the company to 8 of his employees. They've got guys that have been there 40 years working there. That's all they've ever done is work at this place. And much like the Petty compound, it's his little house. I've got an aerial view, and he just started building garages to expand. There's a little track in the back so he could test parts. Amazing guy. I'm extremely privileged to have been able to go there and have him show me around. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope everybody tunes in.
Excellent. Rich, you can run anything you have. When I tell people the same thing every year, when you have a car that needs a bunch of stuff, make sure it stops and steers, and starts and runs, and just get all that done before you start modifying it and all of that. Because let me tell you, an indirect connection right here, Jason, he can tell you. He was at that crossroads last year. It was like, okay, do I try to get the 440 ready to drop in the car and take, and it's kind of a stretch, or do I keep the 318 poly and just make it start and stop and drive and run and all that? And he went the conservative route. And several of us suggested, hey, Jason, just get the 318 poly in it, make sure it runs and drives, does what it needs to do. And that's what he did. Had a great time and raced. Everything was awesome. Drove it and all of that. Now, this year, Jason may up the ante with a 440 or something else. But at least he didn't miss out on all the fun last year trying for a hurdle that might have been a little too high for year one. So my advice is, Rich, just make it stop and steer and run and make the trip. And then next year you can always make it faster. That would be my suggestion. Because nobody remembers what anybody ran. We just remember who all was there and having a good time together.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking forward to is I competitive is one thing, but I want to have fun. And everything I'm doing with this project is to make sure that it'll make it the 10-hour drive there and be safe. I can make it faster, and this thing's going to keep growing. As my channel grows, this car's going to be a great flagship, but it's got to get running and driving first. It's got to get out there so people see it.
Yeah, indirect connection brings up a good point too. The drama level is non-existent here. That's because, when we have a community that takes people investing in themselves in the community, when you have to get 500 subscribers, it forces you to give up a little bit of your anonymity. It forces you to be a little bit more accountable, a little more neighborly, and communicate and socialize. And because of that, it makes for a much better community. That's really the whole thing about it. Michael Schmidt, thanks a bunch, buddy. I thank you for that. Again, you've got my email. If you have any questions, go for it. You can do this on subs. We'd love to have you. And even if you cannot make the subs, remember, you can still certainly be there. It's open to the public. You just have to have 500 subs to race and burnout contest.
Yeah, because you mentioned someone came and basically panhandled for subs, for lack of a better term, at the track, right?
You can, but I mean, ideally, wouldn't you like to get the monkey off your back and just get your subs earlier?
No, definitely. I'm sorry. I thought someone had actually done that to like
Oh,
they
yeah.
were.
No. Dizzy Izzy did it, and Mopar's Mustangs and Minivans did it. They got their 500 at the track last year.
Yeah.
So last year on Friday morning, I went out there because the line to get into the track was backed up all the way out on the road. Okay. So I went out there, and when I would see people I knew who they were. I could see them. I just said, I marked them down and waved them in and literally cleaned the line that way because I knew who they were because I'd seen them on their channels. Even if I hadn't met them in person, knew who they were, saw the car they brought, knew exactly who they were. They already pre-registered, so I just check them off. Well, Damien from Mopar's Mustangs and Minivans was standing outside the gate, literally had a sign to get his last 500, and people in line were subscribing to him. And when he got 500, he was so excited. He ran over, hey, I got my 500. He showed me on his phone where he had it. I said, good, man. Send me that screenshot and go get in the tech line. That's exactly what happened. He got his 500 that morning. Rich says he understands that, but Rich, just concede. You're not going to outrun Brad. It's not going to happen. So either come out and have fun and just hang and worry about going fast later, because that's the way it is. Don't worry about all that equal footing and all that. Don't worry about any of that stuff. Don't worry about the way it looks. Don't worry about how fast it is. See if you can get a car that will make the trip back and forth from New Jersey, and then worry about the getting faster stuff later.
Yeah, it's like a barbecue and a drag race broke out. It's kind of the idea of this. Seems like everybody.
What you're going to see this year, 100%. You're going to see people who were there last year, and you're going to see them this year and say, oh, man, that car's quicker. I mean, I've already seen it all over the place. And you'll say, hey, wow, they're quicker than last year. And Rich, you can do the same thing. You can come out and people say, hey, I remember that car last year. Didn't remember being that quick. Then maybe the next year it's like, wow, that car is running, whatever. So, But you got to get there for that to happen. Twisted Mopar later, man. We're going to wrap up here in just a couple minutes. Does anybody have anything else? Any questions? Anything? I'm going to kind of keep up with who's going to cross that finish line first between Tony's Hot Rod Garage and the One-Eyed Cat, because they are running 1 and 2 now. Now that 6% Recycled has made it.
Which I greatly appreciate everything from everybody. And I'm going to be looking forward to watching this little race from the other side of the fence for once. So,
yeah. And the thing is as these guys cross that finish line, I love that we now have mentors who will pay it forward and who will help next year's No Name 500. See, that's what we're doing this year. So on the Content Creator Workshop, I've got alumni helping me host it. People like Barrows. You're going to see lots of familiar faces who made it last year who can help guys this year. And I'm hoping 6% Recycled next year will be in our Content Creator Workshops helping the guys next year. That's just the way, the natural cycle of things.
I'd like to think so. Hopefully I have something more than 502 subscribers by this time next year.
But anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here. We went a half hour long tonight, but it's because we were having a great time. At least I was. The time just flew by. I've loved having Spot on, 6% Recycled. Congratulations. I'm watching the Tony versus Don race. I'm going to be having Dallas on again here soon. I don't know exactly which weekend it is off the top of my head. I've got a few cool things I'm going to be dropping for you guys. I wanted to mention the thing about the car numbers. I think when I have Dallas on, I'll formally put some deadlines on when you have to be registered for that and so forth and so on. And we, of course, got some other logistical things to work out too, like with the bracket, etc. But with that, yeah, it's been fun tonight. I will see you all again next week. Later.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, John.